More on this issue now. Let's bring in Republican Congressman Mike Gallagher of Wisconsin. He's a member of the House Armed Services Committee and the Committee on Transportation as well as Infrastructure. So the Centers for Disease Control says you have to continue the moratorium on evictions. What does the Constitution say about that?
Well, in June, the Supreme Court and Justice Brett Kavanaugh wrote an opinion stating that the Biden administration would not have the authority to extend the moratorium again, to which the Biden administration agreed at the time. So what happened in the interim? Congress, Speaker Pelosi and the Democrats failed to come up with a solution. Biden got extreme pressure from the squad and the progressive wing of the Democratic Party and decided to just go ahead and do it anyways, after having admitted that it was unconstitutional and he lacked the authority. This is constitutional anarchy. I mean, for 4 years, we've been lectured by the left about how our norms are under assault in our democracy, how our democracy has been hurt by authoritarianism in the executive branch. Well, this is an incredibly authoritarian, unconstitutional action by the executive branch against the legislative branch and the judicial branch. It doesn't make any sense at all. And these landlords are going to suffer. And not all landlords are rich, wealthy people that can afford not to collect rent for a few more months.
And the president himself seemed to admit as much when he spoke about the issue on Tuesday. Listen.
The bulk of the constitutional scholarship says that it's not likely to pass constitutional muster. But there are several key scholars who think that it may, and it's worth the effort. At a minimum, by the time it gets litigated, it will probably give some additional time while we're getting that $45 billion out to people.
It will probably give people some additional time by the time it gets litigated. What do you say to the president on that?
I mean, you can just sort of hear the malarkey in that statement right there. It makes absolutely no sense at all. And what do you think is going to happen when this gets overruled in a few months? Do you think that the tenants are going to be happy? Do you think the landlords are going to be happy? Do you think the squad and the progressive wing of the Democratic Party is going to be satisfied because of this trick? It is absolutely detrimental to our constitutional order, and I think the framers would be mystified by this. And while we're talking about the framers, I must have missed the Federalist paper where Madison argued that the CDC somehow has authority in this area. It makes absolutely no sense.
Of course.